The last passenger the bus seat was still warm when Elias sat down, and he was the only one on the entire route. Rain drummed against the windows like impatient fingers. Outside, the city dissolved into streaks of neon and shadow, streetlights smearing across wet asphalt. Elias hadn't planned to take the night bus, but the taxi never came, and the walk home from the hospital was 6 miles through neighborhoods that grew quieter the farther he went. He needed to move, to outrun the silence in his chest. He'd just signed the papers. Do not resuscitate. His mother's hand had been cold even before the pen left his grip. Now he sat near the back, damp coat steaming slightly, fingers numb round the strap of his worn satchel. The bus hummed low, its engine a tired growl. The driver hadn't looked at him when he boarded, just nodded toward the fare box, eyes fixed on the empty road ahead. Elias glanced around. Empty seats. Every one. Unusual for 11:47 p.m., even on a Tuesday. But the rain kept people in. That's what he told himself. Then he felt it pressure, on the seat beside him. Not weight, just the subtle shift of air. The faint depression in the vinyl cushion, as if someone had just stood up, but no one had been there. He turned slowly. The seat was empty, yet the fabric was creased and warm. He shifted away, pressing against the cold window. His breath fogged the glass. In the reflection, the bus stretched behind him, rows of vacant seats, overhead lights flickering faintly. Nothing moved, but the air smelled like antiseptic and lavender. His mother's perfume, the one she wore every Sunday. His throat tightened. He looked down. On the floor, near the aisle, lay a folded tissue, white, unused. He hadn't seen it when he sat. He didn't pick it up. The bus turned a corner. Streetlights flashed across the ceiling once, twice, then darkness again. Between flashes, Elias thought he saw a shape in the seat across the aisle, hunched. Still, he blinked. Gone. His pulse thudded in his ears. He checked his phone. No signal. Battery, 19%. The screen's glow felt too bright, too loud. He turned it off. Silence pressed in. Even the rain seemed muffled. Then a soft cough, dry rasping, from the front of the bus. Elias froze. The driver hadn't moved, hadn't made a sound since boarding. Another cough. Closer this time. From the row ahead. He leaned forward, peering between seats. Nothing but the vinyl on the seat back in front of him was damp. Not from rain, from breath. His skin prickled. He wanted to get off at the next stop, but the next stop was 3 miles away, and the bus hadn't slowed. He stood, unsteady, and walked toward the front. Needed to see the driver. Needed proof he wasn't alone. The aisle felt longer than before. The overhead lights buzzed faintly, one flickering erratically. As he passed the middle of the bus, he saw it. On the floor, near the emergency exit, a single slipper, faded blue, worn at the heel. His mother's heels. He stopped, breath caught. He hadn't brought it. Had left it by her bed. They'd buried her in slippers, yes, but these were the ones she wore at home. The ones she'd kicked off the morning she collapsed. He backed away, fast, returned to his seat, sat, gripped the edge of the vinyl until his knuckles whitened. The bus rolled on. No stops, no turns, just straight down a road that should have ended 10 minutes ago. He looked out the window. The city was gone, now only trees. Black silhouettes against a starless sky. No houses, no signs. Just endless road and rain. This wasn't his route. Panic clawed up his throat. He stood again, louder this time. Hey, driver. No response. He walked to the front, heart hammering. Stopped 2 seats from the cab. The driver sat upright, hands at 10 and 2. Raincoat hood pulled low. Didn't turn. Where are we? Elias asked, voice thin. The driver didn't answer. Didn't move. Elias reached out, touched the man's shoulder, cold, stiff. He yanked his hand back. The driver's head tilted slowly to the side, too slowly. Joints creaking like dry wood, and faced him. No face, just shadow beneath the hood, deep, empty. Elias stumbled backward, tripped over his own feet, fell into a seat. Breath came in ragged gasps. He fumbled for his phone, turned it on, 0.18%. No signal. He opened the flashlight, swept it down the aisle. Every seat now bore an impression, as if filled moments ago, and on each headrest faint wisps of steam, like breath in cold air. He turned off the light, sat in the dark, trembling. The bus slowed, not to a stop, just eased. Outside, the trees parted. A building appeared low, brick, familiar. The St. Marlowe Hospice, his mother's ward. The bus doors hissed open. Rain stopped. Silence. Elias didn't move. From the back of the bus, a voice, soft, frail, achingly familiar, whispered, "You forgot my scarf." He turned. At the very rear, a figure sat wrapped in a thin blanket, face hidden in shadow. But the hands clutched a red wool scarf, the one he'd left on her bed, the one he'd promised to bring to the funeral. He stood, walked toward her, each step heavier than the last. The air grew colder, smelled of medicine and wilted lilies. He stopped 2 rows away. "Mom?" he whispered. The figure lifted its head, dark eyes, sunken, lips cracked, but the smile, wrong, too serene. "To knowing you came," she said, "but you're late." He reached for her. Her hand closed around his wrist. "Ice. Stay," she whispered. "The bus doesn't go back." He tried to pull away. Couldn't. The doors hissed shut. The engine rumbled to life. The hospice vanished in the rear window, swallowed by trees. The bus accelerated into the black. Elias sat beside her now, not by choice, but because his legs wouldn't obey. The scarf lay across his lap, heavy, damp. He looked down. His hands were pale, veins darker, nails tinged blue. He touched his face, skin cool, lips dry. In the window's reflection, the seat across the aisle was empty, but the one beside him now bore 2 impressions, and the bus rolled on, deeper into the night, past roads that didn't exist, toward a destination unmarked on any map. Hours passed, or minutes. Time had no anchor. Then the bus slowed again. Doors opened. A new passenger stood in the rain-hooded, shoulders slumped, holding a satchel. Elias watched as the figure boarded, dripping, and walked down the aisle. The newcomer paused at the empty seat across from him, looked up, eyes wide with recognition. With terror. Elias didn't speak. He just nodded, toward the back, and the new passenger sat down. The doors closed. The engine growled, and the bus carried them both into the hollow.